Hello, my name is Erin from Juniper Oakes. I'm a crochet pattern designer. I like to use fun, interesting stitches to come up with crochet patterns for you to use for items around your home. This year in 2023, I have been running a year-long Bookmark Crochet Along, where each month I release a brand new free bookmark crochet pattern. That's free in my blog, and I also am doing video tutorials to go along with them. So this month, August, I am doing the Granny Lattice, or the Lattice Granny bookmark pattern. In August, on August 15th, is Granny Square Day, so I thought it'd be fun to use these cute little granny squares to come up with a bookmark pattern just for you. So this pattern, we use just 2 rounds of a granny square, and we make 3 of them, and then we're just going to tie them together. You can choose to make yours all one color like this one, use kind of a variegated yarn. You could make each square different, or you can even make each round in each square different. Whatever you want, that's just fine. Get creative, I would love to see it. The yarn that I'm using here is a DK weight yarn, and this is some hand-dyed yarn from High Desert Yarn. Joanna is a crochet designer friend of mine that I met online, and she also has her own line of hand-dyed yarn that she dyes out of her home. She uses natural fibers. This is 100% superwash merino wool yarn, and I just thought that these crochet bookmark patterns were just a fun way for me to try to get to use natural fibers, hand-dyed fibers in my crochet products instead of just acrylic yarn from like the hobby store. Just branching out a bit. So I hope that you have joined me in this and bought some yarn from High Desert Yarn. I used about 6 skeins of 6 of her little mini skeins from her shop to make these 12 bookmarks, and they're just so fun. Okay, so this colorway is called Rainbow. In it, it has all these various little kind of muted rainbow colors, and it is just so fun. I'm excited to see how it's going to be worked up with these cute little granny squares. So DK weight yarn, and then also a size E or 35mm hook. You're also going to need some scissors and of course a yarn needle, just like you would with almost any crochet project to finish it off. Please go ahead and like this video before we get started. Also subscribe, so you don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that little bell so that you get a notification anytime that I release a new pattern walkthrough or stitch tutorial or any other yarn related content on my YouTube channel. I would really love it if you became a subscriber and just share with your friends. Tell me in the comments, since we've been talking about High Desert Yarn, have you ever used hand-dyed yarn before? Let me know what your thoughts about it either way, and go ahead and click the affiliate link down below to Joanna's Etsy shop so you can get your eyes and your hands on some of her hand-dyed yarn. Okay, let's get started with the crochet pattern. Like I said, we are just going to make 3 of each of these little granny squares. So I'm going to show you how to work up one of the granny squares, and then we're going to sew them together to make this bookmark pattern. Start out with a magic circle. Sometimes people start out their granny squares with a chain 4 and working into that first chain that they made. But here in this one, I'm making a granny, my granny square in this magic circle. And then I'm going to chain 3. Work 2 double crochets, and then chain 1. So like a granny stitch is 3 double crochets, so do that. Work 3 double crochets, and then a chain 1. So that is 2 granny stitches here, and now work 2 more. So in that magic circle, we're going to end up with 4 granny stitches, which is 3 double crochets and a chain 1. Look at that fun yellowy white mixture there. And then one more. Chain one. Then pull your magic circle tight, and you're going to work a slip stitch to the top of that chain three to join that first round. Let's see, where is the other side? Right there. Slip stitch right there, join. So now what we have is 4 granny stitches that we are working with. Now round 2 of these little granny squares is you're going to chain 3. And you can decide, are you going to turn, which I think I'm going to turn, and then work 2 double crochets into that chain 1 space. So that first chain 3, that counts as a double crochet, and then 2 more, and so we have our 3 double crochets in that kind of chain 1 space. Then chain 1. And then we're going to do another granny stitch in that same space that we've been working in. So we're going to do 3 more double crochets in that same chain 1 space we were just working in. And that's how we turn the corner. Chain 1. And now we're going to go find the next chain 1 space, and we're going to work 2 granny squares in that next chain 1 space. So we work 3 double crochets, and then chain 1, and then work 3 more double crochets. And chain 1. So repeat that with your final 2 chain 1 spaces. We're going to work 2 granny stitches in each of those 2 chain 1 spaces. And then we have 1 more chain 1 space over here, and we work our last corner. And then I'm going to chain 1 and slip stitch here to join. Okay, then at the end of each of your little granny squares, you're going to fasten off like so. Okay, now go ahead and make 2 more of these granny squares, these little mini squares, and then meet me back to join. So if you need to, go back to the start of your square and watch it again, and make 2 more of those, and then we'll meet you back. One little tip that I wanted to share with you is, as I was working these up, I realized sometimes I do this, and maybe I should share it with you guys, is I'll do my chain 3 at the beginning of like my granny square round, and then I'll just work, say, like 1 I'll work 1 double crochet in that space, and then continue on with my granny square, or just work like a partial granny stitch for the first one, and then when we come around, I'll show you what I do. So now that I'm coming back to where I did my first chain 1 or chain 3 and my 1 double crochet, so I turned my last corner, chained 1, and normally I would like slip stitch the top of this chain to join, but instead I'm going to do my final double crochet of that granny stitch, that first granny stitch. Remember I was missing one, and then I will slip stitch to that chain 3. So so now that chain 1 part just kind of got lost in there a little bit, or that chain 3 part. It doesn't make a huge difference, but here you see, you can obviously tell that that chain 3 is right there, that starting chain. And it is standoffish a little bit. Here it just kind of gets buried, and you can't really tell as much where the beginning of your little granny square is. So take that or leave it, whatever you want. Yeah, I like to do that sometimes. And then really doing it that way makes it so that your ends are here on the corner, and that'll make it easy for this next part, as we now have 1, 2, 3 granny squares, and we can start sewing them together. So pick how you want your granny squares to be positioned. That kind of looks good like that. Maybe like that. These granny squares have a right side and a wrong side, especially if you did your chain 3 and you turned for your round 2. Even if you didn't, there is a right side and a wrong side. You can see your stitches around are facing you on the right side, and if you turn it that way, it just doesn't look as good. Your stitches are kind of facing away from you. This way is just nice and clean and crisp, and that is the right side. So you want to have your right sides facing forward, and maybe you want to have your ends kind of at a corner. If not, you can take whatever else yarn you want and sew them together. But what I'm going to do is grab my hook or my needle here and thread it. And now we're just going to assemble these squares. So I'm going to go through the corner here and just kind of wrap it around that corner. Find the matching corner on this side where you can find that chain 1 space. And then just kind of do that a couple times. You can go through the stitches, you can just go around those chain 1 space, secure it just nice and securely. You can go 1 stitch to each side of that corner and insert your needle. And then go to 1 stitch on the other side. And just sew them together. Okay, I'm gonna go 1 more. My yarn keeps on falling out of my hook or my needle here. Okay, once you're nice and secure, then on the back side, I make a little knot. And then you weave in your end. Okay. And do the same thing down below here. Let's see how we want that to look. Maybe like that. And we see, this one wasn't all the way down to the corner, so you can just kind of weave it down to the corner. Oh, did you notice what I did there? Is I didn't sew my right sides together. Oops. That's okay. It still looks just fine. You see, this is my wrong side and this is my right side. I'm going too fast. I got stuff going on with the family this week, so I am just kind of getting these bookmarks videos done for you guys, just to show you how I do them, and I messed it up for you, so I am sorry for that. You know, I am just human, regular mama, just doing the best I can here. Getting these secured. Okay, then push that to the back and secure a little knot. Okay, now there you have it. I got all my ends in the way, but once you even all those ends, you will have a fun little lattice granny crochet pattern, or the granny lattice, whichever way you want to say it. Cute little bookmark to put in your book as you're reading. Hold your spot. What did you think? Do you like these cute little granny squares? Are granny squares new to you, or have you made them before? Let me know in the comments, and also include what book are you reading? What book are you going to use this bookmark for? Let me know about it. Do you recommend it, and should I read it as well? Go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate it. I love my crochet community, and thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to check the link down below for the rest of the bookmark crochet along. I hope you're joining in with us, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.